Welcome to our Pick a Stack Moon Oracle reading. But before we get started, if you like what you see here today, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're curious about this right here, I do make tiny things, and this is just so adorable. Try not to get the glare on there. If you would like to see me make this, or if you would like to get one for yourself, that information will be in the description box below, but I'll also post a link at the end of the video so you can see me make this cute little moon magic room. Let's get started. So today you can choose from our clear quartz moon, our orange calcite moon, or our hematite moon. We're going to get started with the clear quartz moon first. So here we go. Okay, if you chose the clear quartz moon, this is your reading. All right, we're going to start with the moonology first. And so let's see what you have. Ooh, you have full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. And from our Queen of the Moon oracle, you have purity, snow moon, number 30. And we'll read all these in just a second. And then from our beautiful Eloquy oracle, you have Colette, she who nurtures empathy, gentleness, and insight. Okay, beautiful cards. All right, let's take a look at each one. Okay, so our first card here is a full moon in Aries, and we also have another full moon showing there. And so we have a fiery climax approaches. When this card comes to you, it's a super fiery time where emotions can run very high. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily negative emotions. It just means things are coming to a head. So on the upside, there's excitement about what may lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare with rash comments or decisions, so that could come into play. No matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way, not necessarily bad. There could be a price to pay if you've been too competitive or too blunt. So let's see the context and where these two come in, because it's all going to make sense. So your Queen of the Moon, the purity, the snow moon here. And I want to note that she's got this cloth over her eyes. So that would tell me she's using her intuition regarding this fiery climax here. So it says, look for the simplest and cleanest solution. This is purity here. Understand your motives for doing what you're doing. Be as clear as possible in your communication. I know why I do what I do. And it says here the companion stone or metal is clear quartz, which we have that right here. So I know that's confirmation that this reading is for whoever picks this. It says there are good reasons to strive for a kind or positive purity in our lives. Being precise with our language and clear as we can be in our communications means fewer miscommunications and misunderstandings in our relationships and work life. That ties directly in with that, because if things are getting heated, it could be a possibility that there's some misunderstandings going on, or you're not listening to one another. You know what I'm saying? Keeping our intentions pure and untainted with lower energies such as jealousy, revenge, and unworthiness as much as possible means that our motivations are pure, not muddy in their reasonings. And she's relying on her intuition here, you know, because she's got her face covered up. And so we have Colette. She who nurtures empathy, gentleness, and insight. She entwines her hair with a soft crown of flowers and leaves. The name Colette means necklace in French. The soft luminescence of the pink pearls and blossoms reflect Colette's gentle nature and her nurturing heart. Purple amethyst is a stone that promotes healing from grief as well as a sense of balance and peace. This card brings a gentle message of hope and healing. When you are troubled, turn to those around you and let them see what you need. If If you are lucky, you may encounter one of those rare souls who see at a glance exactly what you are experiencing. You will recognize the knowing souls like Colette by the empathetic depth in their eyes. Allow yourself to be nurtured back to health and happiness. Interesting. So let's see what this tarot is, and that's going to put more context on this reading. All right, let's see what the tarot has to say. We have Page of Cups, the Emperor, yep, insight, higher self there. Five of Swords, yep, there's a climax coming, but this is not, this is going to be fine. Let's see what we have crossing it. It's not bad. Ten of Swords, Temperance, yep, that makes sense. And Page of Cups, we have the Page of Cups twice, you guys, twice. And we'll look at this at the end. So let's unpack this first set of cards here. Okay, so we're going to look at this first set of cards here. And we have the Page of Cups twice, and each one has a swords with it. So we have the Page of Cups here and the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords for me is an ending of some sort. And it could be an ending of, stress, because you think of the cards that come before this, like the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords and, the worry and things. So something is coming to an end. And if it's your worries and things like that, then, that's wonderful. And so when you have the repeating cards like two Page of Cups, I really feel that's the energy of Colette, she who nurtures. And this is a very young energy. It's also a very artistic type energy, but I really feel that these two are backing up this Colette with the gentleness and the empathy for yourself as you're going through this transitional time, because that's what an ending is. Some things have to end for you to have new beginnings. And that's what I'm getting from that. And this could be a message that could be coming through about this ending as well. So let's look at the Emperor now. Okay, so we have the Emperor and Temperance. We have two major arcana, and it's right underneath Purity, which is calling on you to use your intuition and to be fair and balanced, as we have Sagittarius here with balance. And the Emperor here is really about control. He's really got a lot of control over his domain and his emotions. Wow, I just feel so much intense energy from these two cards, especially with the Purity. So whatever is coming your way of this fiery climax that is coming, it's going to require you to be in control of your emotions, to maintain balance, but also to trust your intuition on this. And just embody this empathy too. It could be for you or someone else. I don't know what this is referring to. I mean, you would know. There's infinite number of possibilities of what this fiery climax could be. But I think as long as you embody this gentleness and insight, so we have insight there, intuition here, and this is a universal, this is an event that is coming to you that is meant for you to grow, right? All right, so let's look at the last stack. Oh, this is such an intense reading here. So let's do the Five of Swords and the Page of Cups again. So we have the Five of Swords here, and this is a victory, but it's asking at, what cost is your victory, in this fiery climax. And then we have our Page of Cups again, which pages, it could be a younger person, it could be messages. But I get the feeling like this is you being gentle with yourself and possibly gentle with the situation too. Because we see this, it's like this. So I feel like you're winning. I definitely feel like you're coming out ahead in this situation. But as long as you are being empathetic as well. I hope that makes sense to your situation, because it's all about perspective. You know, even if you lose something, you're still learning. You know, there's no such thing as failure unless you absolutely give up and don't even try. There's always learning. So if you keep doing something and it's not turning out the way you want, but you're learning as you go. And I feel like I get the feeling someone's going to be offering you something. It's going to be small, but it's going to be a token of help. And remember, in the collect card, it said to ask for help if you need it. And so I feel like this is the help you need, maybe after a difficult win. You know who your friends are and those that are there to support you. And I feel like having two pages of cups, you do have the support around you. Wow. Okay. Very powerful, intense reading, but I think you've got this. So let's see what our little bonus card here is at the end. Oh, okay. One enchanted evening, the perfect night. Okay, that kind of tells me that whatever this challenge is, this fiery climax, and it doesn't necessarily look, we could put a whole different spin on this. This fiery climax could be this one enchanted evening. You know, maybe something ended in the past and you've brought in your intuition and your wisdom and your insight, and now you've created this balance and control in your life, and you're winning. You know, there was, some conflict in your past, but you won, and you're winning this new start. Maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a, some kind of emotional new beginning, but it looks like it comes out in your favor. So that's overall a very good reading. So let's move on to the next one, and the orange calcite moon. All right, if you chose the orange calcite moon, this is your moon oracle reading. I'm going to start with our moonology card. Let's see which moon you have. Ooh, okay, you have new moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. And then we have our Queen of the Moon. You have Will, waxing gibbous. Number 13 breaks down into a 4. And then our Eloquy, you have Iris. Ooh, she who changes. And look, there's a crescent here. There's a crescent there. And you can even see a tiny little crescent there. Interesting. Transformation, change, and enchantment. It's a beautiful card. All right, let's take a look at each one. Okay, this is amazing, you guys. So this is the new moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. The new moon in Aquarius card means no looking back. Change is on its way, and it could come quickly. Whether you get the change you want depends both on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. This card comes with the suggestion you may need to do things independently on your own, but be loving, not too pragmatic. Time may be of the essence when this card comes up. So you've got some changes coming in pretty quickly. And many people think that Aquarius is a water sign because the Aquarius symbol is the water bearer, but it's actually an air sign. It's far more about intellect than the emotional water signs, as is this card. No matter when you draw it, dropping convention works well with this energy. So this is a card of quick change. And if we look at this, you have the new moon here, and then you have waxing and another waxing moon here. So this goes together completely, because after a new moon, it starts to grow into the full moon. So by doing this change, you're going to bring in something really new. So let's look at the will next. You have 13 breaks down into a 4. You have will. And so decisions require action. You are in control of your own decisions in life, no one else's. Passion and will determine a great proportion of your success. You will persist. You possess free will, which means you should focus on yourself first and avoid placing your will over others. I have the will to change, to make the changes I need. When we decide we are going to change something in our lives, let's say a particularly negative pattern or bad habit, Breaking the old way we do things can be difficult. The change requires a concentration of our will. We may want the change, but is it our will that insists we stay on the path to that change? To be willful means we have the power to control over our own actions, and that will fires up the persistence we need to get what we want. To use our will productively, we should assess what we really want and make sure this is what we want to reach for. Now, interesting, the companion stone for this is hematite, which is our next moon. Interesting. You might want to watch that reading too, which I haven't recorded yet, so I don't know. But that's really fascinating. So we have change here and we have change here. And this also talked about focusing on yourself, to bring about this change in your life. This is just amazing. So now we have Iris, she who changes. This reading is all about change, you guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see some changing cards in here. Maybe another like Ten of Swords or the Death card. So let's see. Iris, she who changes, wears a waxing moon on her forehead and a curving snake on her arm. Both are emblems of change and transformation. The moon reminds us how we can cycle from waxing to full to waning. The snake, ultimate agent of transformation, sheds its skin to live again. The snake's magic reminds us that as long as we are never stagnant, we will continue to reinvent ourselves. And this called about, using your will and taking action, right? It is this power of transformation that invites us to celebrate the enchantment of this moment. Shed the skin of yesterday to cloak yourself in your new persona. Iris asks if you are ready to do this. Iris brings a message that you are in a moment of change. And yeah, we got a lot of change here. You can choose to move into a new self or pull back on the self you were before. Oh, don't do that. There's nothing static about this issue. Do not put too much weight on things as they are. Instead, take a step back, remind yourself of the moon cycles as well as the turning of the seasons. If you remember all things change, you will find yourself preparing to adapt to the ever cycling world. And the questions are, why am I fighting this change? Are you? How can I flow into the transformation? And what do I need to do to honor this cycle? Wow, I can't wait to see the tarot on this one because nothing but change here. Okay, let's see what we got. Knight of Wands, Ten of Wands, interesting, yep. Page of Swords. All right, let's see what else we have here. Six of Cups. There's that bringing love into the situation. The Sun. Oh, wow. It's beautiful. Right on the Ten of Wands. It's great. And the Eight of Swords. Okay, we have a little bonus card here. Let's start with this first stack here. Okay, so our first set here, we have this Knight of Wands, which looks kind of like a female to me, which is fine. And then we have our Six of Cups. And Knight of Wands, this is fire on fire energy. Very quick moving energy. This is someone who's very enthusiastic and adventurous. And then we have this Six of Cups, and you see she's got all of her nostalgia and stuff around her, so she could be reminiscing, or some people, it could interpret this as a past person, but I don't feel that from this one. I feel like this is your inner child. I feel like this is a transformation that you are making with this change, that you are ready to nurture your inner child and bring about that sense of adventure that maybe you lost. I mean, think about a kid and how you would go on adventures, in your backyard, or, even around the house, just discovering new things. And maybe that's what it is. You need to discover these new things about yourselves, or maybe things that you have forgotten about yourself. Or, it actually could be a person coming in. It could be a person from your past. I mean, if that resonates for you, if they weren't a good person, don't let them back in. But, I think that this is more about you and that inner child and being adventurous again. Taking that step to just be you, to be who you really are, making that change, and not being what other people expect you to be, but be who you are. And so the next set of cards, we have the Ten of Wands and the Sun. And when you have the Sun, it sheds a good, like, bright light on all the whole reading, everything. And so I really like this Ten of Wands. She's got purpose. She's got her star here, kind of almost like to me like the hermit with his lantern. So that's her goals and her dreams, and she's going after it, and she's nearly there. This is all her hard work, everything she's put into it. It's coming. And I feel like, she's in this dark alleyway, but the sun is there. I mean, you're almost at this. I think this is your moment of change here to release maybe some burdens or things that just no longer resonate with you. You've come a long way. Treat yourself. It doesn't look like she's really having fun anymore, with maybe what she's doing. It doesn't bring her joy anymore, perhaps. But the sun is just such a beautiful card, could be Leo. And, I feel like it's just shining a light. If you're coming from a dark area, maybe you've been depressed or sad, I feel like this change into this inner child adventurous energy is going to be amazing for you. I'm not saying don't give up responsibility or everything, but maybe there's something that you left behind, something that you loved to do when you were a child. Maybe it was something to do with the arts, but there's something there that you've been missing, and the sun is trying to shine a light on it. All right, let's look at the last set of cards. Okay, our last stack here. I think I know what's going on here. So we have the Page of Swords, and we have the Eight of Swords. More air energy. Remember, this was air too. And so Page of Swords for me is a person who's really interested in learning. And she actually has the balloon there. So I feel like you need to get a new perspective, a higher perspective on the situation, on this change that's coming. Yeah, embrace this new transformation. It's probably going to be a challenge, maybe. But so the eights, it's a movement, okay? And like the Eight of Wands is, something coming at you really fast. But if you look here, is she really trapped with all these thoughts around her? They're sticking into the ground around her. So in the typical, the Rider-Waite, she's got a blindfold on, but I mean, she's not really stuck here. She's not. She can get out of this at any moment, you know. And so I think this could represent our day-to-day lives, worries, things like that, feeling trapped, but you're not. Look at this. You've got this freedom right here and the ability. You just have to be curious enough about it, to look beyond this and to be more this, with this, because pages are young, youthful energy. And so I think this is asking you to embrace the youth in yourself and to shed these things, because the light is shining on this whole reading. And so I really feel like this is another thing that's saying, that is asking you to take a step above and look at this situation from a higher place and remember kind of what your childhood was like, and love yourself. Bring love into the situation, love yourself, and embrace this transformation. So let's look at our bonus card here. We have Goddess, healing feminine energy. There you go. There you go. There's the Six of Cups and this healing and love. Love yourself. Love yourself. And bring in this change. We should change as we progress through our lives and as we learn new things. There's nothing wrong with that. That everything about who we are is about change, and I think becoming better spiritual beings here on this planet. And you owe it to yourself to have this transformation. I think you're ready. I really do. All right, let's move on to our final moon and the hematite. Okay, if you chose the hematite moon, this is your reading. Let's see what we have for our first card, the Moonology. Ooh, full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. That's awesome. That's good. You have, oh, cute. Oh my goodness. Egg moon, trust. 32 breaks down into 5. And May is the 5th month, right? Now we have Pearl, she who rises up, empower, uplift, and elevates. All right, let's take a look at all 3 of these. All right, so we have first up, your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. And so 5 may be important to you, might be your favorite number, might be you might be a Taurus, you might be born on the 5th. So it says here, sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical, and sometimes you need to be a combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, welcoming it, but you need to balance that with taking down to earth steps towards your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. It says, write down 10 things that you know are wonderful about you. It says, additional meanings for the cards. Laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. Jealousy and envy create negative energy and attract negativity, and more exercise is called for. But I think the main thing here is knowing what you want and actually, like it says, make a practical plan. Make a practical plan for what you're wanting. And now we have trust next. The egg moon. And that also is a 5 there. So that's interesting. Might be a 5 in here as well. So it says, trust yourself, develop self-trust, and joy will follow. You can rely on your own capabilities, begin to plan carefully for the future. This is also saying to make a plan and trust yourself. And I also get the feeling on this one that you need to trust in the universe as well to know how to help bring these things into your life. You do need to have a plan, and you do need to make actual steps towards your plan, but you also have to be open in a way to receive how it comes to you. It's not always exactly how we expect. So self-trust is a full acceptance of self. As accepting oneself becomes easier, the self-trust will begin to shine. And I think when you have self-trust, you will trust in the universe more as well. So I think that's really important for manifesting your goals here, is to have that trust. Because if you don't trust yourself, wow, think about that for a minute. That would be really, really bad. And I think you can create this self-trust by making your list of the things you want to achieve, your goals, your desires, and meeting those expectations. You will develop your own self-trust, and then that will parlay into the universe, of trusting the universe that it's got your back and it's going to be there for you, and it's going to assist you in, building your dreams. And the companion stone here is iron. So that's really interesting. And if you think about the egg, any kind of egg, it's a recipe, it's a plan, it's DNA, it's how things are made. So there's definitely a plan there, and a lot of trust too, right? And so now we have pearl, which I think, pearl and egg, that's kind of an interesting that they both came out like that. So we have pearl here. Like the iridescent gems she weaves into her hair, Pearl, she who rises up, has been shaped by her experiences and has evolved into a being of great strength and beauty. She wears a badge of honor tattooed on her back, the mythical bird the fire phoenix. See that? The mythical bird of fire, the phoenix, circles her back and arms to remind her that rising from the ashes is something she knows how to do. Her focus is determined. You can see her clear, steady gaze looking at you. She has risen up and is now a beacon ready to help others. The message of this card is you have all the power you need to raise yourself up to the next level. So if you're setting goals, if you have a plan, it's because you're trying to level up in your life, whatever that is, leveling up in your spirituality and your your work, or just any of the things that you're wanting to bring about in your life. Some of that strength may come from others that want to help you. Look to those around you to find the tribe of members who want to lift you up rather than press you down. This card represents that clear-eyed friend who only wants the best for you. Elevate your soul by remembering that empowerment comes from within, but a little boost from a friend never hurts. Fierce and wild, remember the phoenix when you see Pearl. Rise up to greet any challenge presented to you. You are an elevated soul, ready to supercharge your life. This card reminds you to lift your head up with pride so you can see the way to your amazing future. And it says, how many experiences have shaped and empowered me? Who is always in my corner? And how can I uplift others? And then we have a bird there and birds there. So that's really interesting. Let's see what our tarot has to say. Let's see. We have Four of Cups. We have King of Swords. Ace of Swords. Woohoo! Yes, I think that is good. That is good. That is good. Ace of Pentacles. Yep. You've got a plan. Seven of Cups. Nine of Swords. Okay, don't worry. And then we have our bonus card. Let's look at this first stack here. This is really fascinating. So you have the Four of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles. And so the Four of Cups for me, very emotional card. This could be thinking about the things you don't have. Maybe this is you're bored with your current circumstances, not very happy, right? And so this is calling on you to make this practical plan with your goals and stuff. And what is your Ace of Pentacles? What is it that you're really wanting? This is material, right? Financial prosperity, practicality, things like that. This is your financial. What on this earth is your goal? Because whatever is going on in your life right now that isn't satisfying, we're not even going to think about that anymore, right? Let's figure out what your dreams are and what you're striving for. That's where this practical plan comes in for you. To stop dwelling on what you don't have and think about what you want, what you want to bring about in your life to get to this Ace of Pentacles. Is different for everybody. We all have different motivations, and that's wonderful. So really kind of think about yourself and what is going to make you happy. Let's look at our next stack. All right, so right here in the middle with trust, trusting yourself, we have the King of Swords and the Seven of Cups. I think this is great. So the King of Swords, I feel like this energy is calling on you to embody this energy of a King of Swords, which is think of someone that is a very ethical leader, very unbiased, very analytical, very thoughtful. Okay, they're going to analyze their goals. This is the person you wanting to make your list, right? Very unbiased. And in front of you is your choices, infinite choices. What makes you happy? That's what this is asking you to do, this practical plan, this whole thing, to trust yourself. But you do have to know what you want. I think you know what you don't want. I think you know what you don't want. I think you know that you want this Ace of Pentacles, whatever it is for you. It could be money, it could be a house, could be something else physical in the physical world, right? And I think we have so many options these days. It can be very overwhelming. But this is, I think, the heart of this reading is asking you to really figure out what it is you want to strive for. And it could just be one thing. You know, they say you can't eat an elephant in one bite, right? Maybe have small goals that you can achieve that will get you to a larger goal. That's kind of how you want to do it. That way you don't get upset, or, you know, if things don't happen really quickly. It just depends on what this major goal is, you know. But this is saying to really take a good hard look at what is available to you and what it is you really and truly want. Okay, let's look at the last set of cards here. All right, so this is really great here because we have the Ace of Swords. You have two aces here, so that's awesome. You have a lot of choices, but you're really pulling in on your, this is like a divine, like antenna almost, really connecting with your higher self here, I do believe. But you have the Nine of Swords, which to me is, you know, just being caught up in your thoughts and your mind, almost like having nightmares about it. I call this my nightmare card. You know, it's not a great place to be. You know, it kind of goes along with this Four of Cups. It's despair. It's, you know, just brooding over things and grief. It's just, you know, it is not a happy card. It's not. But the Ace of Swords can cut right through that. So we have a 1 and a 10, that's a 9, that's the end. That's 10 of Swords, end of all this, right? You just have to know what it is you want and then make the steps to go towards it. If you're wanting to manifest something in your life, that's what you have to do. You can't just, you know, I think you can't just wish upon a star and then not do anything, not make any movement towards it. This earthly realm, the magic happens with our actions. Hardly anything is going to come to you just by making a wish. You really can be and do anything. Just be passionate about it, and you just have to want it and go after it, and then you have it. But we all have different passions, different desires, and what is yours? That's what this is asking you, to just trust yourself, you know, and to figure out what it is that you want. And you can do it. This is saying you're going to do it. You're going to cut through all of this with this sword. Absolutely. And so let's see what your bonus card is. Achievement. Win the award, accolade, or contract. Come on, look at that. There it is. Here's your achievement right here. It's an award. Look at it. When you know what you want and you go after it, you will get it. So that's wonderful. That's awesome. All right, so those are your moon readings. I hope one of them resonated with you or you got something out of it. And that's going to be it for now, and we'll see you next time.